Hello, my name is Gary, and I was raised in the Western United States, so I'm a native English speaker. I hope that you will enjoy this YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. Birbal Goes to Heaven, an Indian fairy tale. Emperor Akbar had a deep fondness for Birbal, which caused the other courtiers at Akbar's court to become jealous. They, along with many others in the kingdom, constantly plotted against Birbal, but their schemes always failed. Among them was the emperor's barber, who was particularly envious of Birbal. One day, the barber devised a malicious plan. While trimming the emperor's beard, he said, "Your Highness, last night I dreamed about your father." Intrigued, the emperor asked, "Really? What did he say?" The cunning barber replied, "He mentioned that he is very happy in paradise, but he feels the absence of a witty person to entertain him." He added, "Your Highness, you should send someone with a great sense of humor to keep him company. Your father will be delighted and will bless you." Seeing the emperor in a dilemma over whom to send, the barber suggested Birbal's name. The emperor readily agreed. The next day the emperor called Birbal and said, "Birbal, I know you're extremely loyal to me and would sacrifice anything for me. Am I right?" Birbal replied, "Yes, Your Highness, absolutely right." "Then, Birbal, please go to heaven to keep my dear father company," said the emperor. Birbal quickly realized this was another plot to kill him. He politely said, "I will do so, but I need a few days to prepare for the journey to heaven." The emperor agreed, granting him 1 week. Back home, Birbal came up with a plan to save his life. He dug a ditch near his house to serve as his grave, and then dug a tunnel from the ditch to one of the rooms in his house. Once everything was ready, Birbal returned to the court and said, "I am ready, Your Majesty, but I have 2 conditions." The emperor responded, "Yes, Birbal, I'll be happy to fulfill your last wishes. What are your conditions?" Birbal said, "I wish to be buried near my house, and I want to be buried alive so I can reach heaven alive to amuse your dear father." Akbar agreed to Birbal's conditions. The jealous courtiers and the barber were thrilled, thinking they would soon be rid of Birbal. On the appointed day, Birbal was buried alive near his house. After the burial, he made his way to his house through the tunnel and lived in hiding for 6 months. During this time, he learned that the barber had masterminded the plot against him. After 6 months, Birbal emerged with a grown beard and shabby hair and presented himself before the emperor. Akbar was overjoyed to see Birbal again. He asked excitedly, "Birbal, you're back. How is my father? Did he send you back, or is there something else?" Birbal replied, "Your Majesty, all is well in heaven. Your father was so happy with my company that he gave me special permission to return to earth to entertain his favorite son." Akbar was delighted and wanted to know more about his father. He asked, "Did he send any message for me?" Birbal said, "Yes, Your Majesty, there isn't a single barber in heaven. You can see this from my grown beard and shabby hair. Your father has asked you to send your barber to him immediately." The emperor understood everything. He rewarded Birbal generously and punished the barber. Fill in the blanks. Emperor Akbar had a deep fondness for Birbal. The courtiers of Akbar's court were jealous of Birbal. The barber devised a malicious plan against Birbal. The barber said he dreamed about the emperor's father. The barber suggested sending someone with a great sense of humor. The emperor called Birbal and asked him to go to heaven. Birbal dug a ditch near his house to serve as his grave. Birbal asked to be buried alive so he could reach heaven alive. Birbal lived in hiding for 6 months. Why did the other courtiers become jealous of Birbal? The other courtiers became jealous of Birbal because Emperor Akbar had a deep fondness for him. What did the barber suggest to the emperor? The barber suggested that the emperor should send someone with a great sense of humor to keep his father company in paradise. Whose name did the barber suggest for the journey to heaven? The barber suggested Birbal's name for the journey to heaven. What did the emperor ask Birbal to do? The emperor asked Birbal to go to heaven to keep his dear father company. How did Birbal plan to save his life? Birbal planned to save his life by digging a ditch near his house to serve as his grave and creating a tunnel from the ditch to one of the rooms in his house. What were Birbal's conditions before being buried? Birbal's conditions before being buried were to be buried near his house and to be buried alive so he could reach heaven alive to amuse the emperor's father. What message did Birbal bring back from heaven for the emperor? The message Birbal brought back from heaven for the emperor was that there isn't a single barber in heaven. The emperor's father asked to send the barber to him immediately. Fill in the blanks. Choose noun, verb, adjective, or adverb. The barber was particularly envious of Birbal. The emperor understood everything and punished the barber. The barber suggested sending someone with a great sense of humor. The jealous courtiers and the barber were thrilled. After 6 months, Birbal emerged with a grown beard and shabby hair. They constantly plotted against Birbal. The emperor asked excitedly, "Birbal, you're back." What does the word devise mean? To destroy, to invent or plan, to repair, to ignore. Which of the following best describes someone who devises a solution? A person who avoids problems, a person who creates or designs a solution, a person who delays decisions, a person who criticizes others.